So hello everyone, my name is Bernardo, I'm 22 and I'm a Vinted reseller. And on this video I will show you how much money I made on Vinted and how I did it. So without further ado, let's get into the Vinted app. Let me just go to my profile. So as you can see here in green, like this month I made 688 euros, pretty much 700 euros. That's the money that I made on the last 30 days. So yeah. And at the moment I'm selling a lot of Patagonias and a lot of Levi's. These are products that I bought recently, and I actually made a video reviewing and unboxing these drops. If you are interested in checking them out, you can always just watch my videos reviewing them. Also, even though like this month I've already received pretty much 700 euros, however, I sold way more than 700 euros because I still have like a pending balance of 400 euros. And this is pretty much money that I haven't received because the customer hasn't like received their items or anything like that. So in reality, I sold way more than 700 euros. So now let's break it down step by step on how I achieved this amount of sales and how I scaled this business. So I started reselling clothes like on Vinted. I think my first listing was like on the last day of May, on the 21st of May, and it was this product right here. I still haven't sold it yet up until this day, but I pretty much just started small. I started like reselling products that I like. I started with a brand called Deus Ex Machina. I don't know if you know it, but it's a brand that's quite popular here in Europe. And it was a brand that I loved. And finding some t-shirts like selling for cheaper prices, like 10 euros, 12 euros. But the vast majority of them were selling for like 25, 30 euros. And I was like, maybe I can try to buy one of these cheaper t-shirts and just try to flip it. And that's exactly how I did it. So I just pretty much started reselling items that I like, a brand that I pretty much liked. And so yeah, and slowly I started to see there was potential, like when it came to reselling. And so I kept on buying single items from Vinted, like brands that like items pretty much that I loved, and I knew they were like underpriced. I pretty much just started listing them on Vinted and selling them for more expensive prices, and I started making some profit. And then this was like when I realized there could be like some potential in here. So I decided to try wholesalers. So if you don't know what a wholesaler is, they are pretty much like huge clothes sellers, but they pretty much just sell clothes like on larger quantities. So they sell like you can either pay by kilo or per pack of 25 sweaters. It will depend on the product you're buying and on the wholesaler that you're trying. And so there was this brand that I wanted to try for a while, which was called Patagonia. And so I decided to buy like, I think this was in either July or June, not sure. I decided to buy my first bale of Patagonia. I ended up buying, I think, 10 Patagonia fleeces for around like 200 euros. So each one of them costed me roughly 20 euros. There was like some taxes in the middle, but it was something around 20 euros, which wasn't the smartest move because I was pretty much just buying winter clothes during summer. But they ended up selling very well. And with that purchase that I made, I managed to, I think I pretty much doubled my investment. So I ended up earning 400 euros. And that made me realize two things: that Patagonia fleeces seem to be like a great seller all year round because I managed to sell 10 super warm pieces during July and August. So yeah, they are a good brand for reselling, and I actually bought another batch of them. And also they made me realize that if I want to scale this and if I want to make more money with this, I will have to take more risks and buy from wholesalers. And I say this, that you need to take more risks, because when you're buying from a wholesaler, you don't know what you will be receiving. You can always like schedule a video end picking or do a end picking if you live near a wholesaler. But in my case, I don't. And so I just decided to take the risk and buy like blindly from wholesalers. You should always do your research on the wholesaler, because there's like always a lot of stuff out there. There's people like me that do reviews on wholesalers. So before like buying anything from a wholesaler, just give it a try. Just do your own research. And so I started buying from wholesalers because I could have higher units of stock and at a cheaper price and be more consistent. Because with the t-shirts that I was selling, I could only find maybe like 2-3 t-shirts. I couldn't find like a batch of 20 t-shirts like for a cheaper price. So yeah, I pretty much started to sell clothes from wholesalers, and from there I managed to scale it up to 700 euros. So yeah, that was it. It was like a pretty much simple process. It doesn't require like any skill. The only skill that you can that does require, but it's not that. I mean, it's relevant, but it's not hard to get. Just pretty much you should try to take good pictures of your products. Um, because pictures they do make a big difference. I remember my first postings. I was just taking like super shitty photos, and so like they weren't getting as much views as they're getting now. And so yeah, my advice for you would be to take good pictures. Always iron your items first, because it gives like a better look and a fresher look to your product. And another tip of advice that I have, if you want to start this business, is don't start like big with wholesalers. Um for two main reasons. One is because one thing that I noticed through my reselling journey, I mean, it's quite fresh, but still, is that when I was just starting out, my profile had only maybe like 5 reviews from previous purchases that I've made on Vinted. And so, yeah, my profile wasn't as trustworthy as it is now. Sorry. So at the moment, if you can go to my profile, I will just link it on the bio. At the moment, I have like close to 70 reviews, which gives me way more credibility. And I started to notice that I get way much more views and way more likes than what I used to get. So yeah, so if you don't want to make a big investment at the beginning because you don't feel like it makes sense for you or for some other reason, just start like maybe like trying to find a brand that you like and start trying to find cheaper items that you feel like are undervalued and just start to and try to flip them. So yeah, my advice would be to do that, to try to flip single items that you think are undervalued, and from there, once you have started to building up those reviews, just start buying from wholesalers, and yeah, and just enjoy the ride, I guess. So yeah, that's pretty much how I made 700 euros this month. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you have any doubts, just let me know in the comments, and I'll be happy to answer. So see you next time.